Starting the live video. I think I'm live. Hello. If you're here, say hello so I can see if you're live as well. Oh, what is my hair? Just give a little minute for people to pop on. Now sometimes I do... Jenny, you're here. Sometimes I do a swipey thing and the comments disappear, so sometimes that happens. So I'm glad I can see the comments. Hello. Just let everybody jump on. Stasia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So a couple of real life things just while people are popping on. One, Nat's here. I have a Nana the Golden Labrador. She likes to be the star of every single show when I'm live or recording my podcast. So if the dog starts barking, grizzling, it's just Nana. Nana, who needs her 5 minutes of fame on everything that I do. So we have that. Also, I wasn't told that the gardener was coming today, so there might be a little bit of lawn mowing. Hashtag real life. So we're just going with it, and we're just gonna see what happens. Oh, my starfish! My Cuzzy Wuzzy's here as well. Right, so if you are here live, I've said hello to you. Oh, I didn't say hi to Cecilia. Hello. If you want to know something about me, well, you're going to know lots of things about me, but I am not a fake it till you make it person. So I'm pooping myself at the moment. I don't, I don't sit with fake it till you make it. I can't physically do it. So, just owning that, FYI. The lawn mowing begins right now. Anyway, so I'm not a fake it till you make it person. I also am not great with on the spot stuff, so I have my notes. So if you see me kind of like looking down, it's because I am looking at my notes, because that's my picture. So my name is Lara, but you can call me Laz, and I am so excited to be here. Jenny and I have been friends for, has it been like a year now? We met in a manifestation program and literally manifested each other, and discovered that we're basically the same person. So we just call each other our little twinnies. We call each other twins. So we just love each other. So I'm just really happy that Jenny has invited me, and thank you. And what is this? I love you. Lawnmowers and labs. Hashtag real life. Yeah. So we'll see what Nana does, but I also waffle when I'm nervous, so gonna get a little bit of waffle stage. I felt like negative 12 degrees this morning, no lawnmowers in my immediate future. Yes, I love you, can't believe it's been almost a year. Yeah, so Jenny and I have been on each other's podcasts, and we found out, like, while we were recording, we were like, are we the same person? And it was really delicious. So anyway, I feel like that's a lot of people on. Hello, Leah! I just hit myself in the face. Okay, so let me begin my little chat. So I thought that I would just talk about, you're probably wondering what a walnut is. What does Walnut Wednesday even mean? What is all this? So I just thought I would start from the beginning and tell you a little bit about myself. So I hope you enjoy. Feel free to ask any questions or anything like that. Lauren, hello! And I will, let's see how we go. So, welcome if you're here. Hashtag Walnut Wednesday if you're on the replay. I think notes now before I digress. So, where I will begin is, I'm Lara, you can call me Liz, I already said that. I am the creator of Walnut Wednesday, which is my brand. And within this brand is Walnut Wednesday, the podcast. I am a healer. I am a self-leader. At first I thought I was a self-love leader, but it's so much more than self-love. So I call myself a self-leader now, on Instagram, on the bios. And I'm also a space holder for everyone in my little group, which is called the Walnut Tree on Facebook. So I hold space for people as well. You're going to resonate with me if you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're just kind of flying around like Oh. But when you like let it happen, you always kind of end up where you need to go. And I have a defined G center in human design as well, which is like the like your GPS system. So I always kind of just end up correct in the right place at the right time. You're my favorite too, Jenny. So, actually, I'll put both the pieces of paper down and just hold one, so it's easier to read. Yeah, so if we take it back to right where I kind of started my little walnut journey, I didn't wake up one day like just hating myself or anything like that, but I got to a point where I just noticed how disgustingly I talked to myself and thought about myself and even treated myself by way of people pleasing, putting myself last, my overflowing teacup analogy. There was no tea overflow for me. There was all everyone else's tea. There was absolutely nothing filled up of mine. And it sounds really negative and things like that, and I've said this a few times, but I didn't have a bad life or anything. I was just in constant burnout all the time and just felt exhausted, and like I wasn't getting back what I was putting in because I was just putting in so much. So yeah, and I was putting people in front of the people that were like contributing to my growth and my success and were really there for me. I was putting other people who weren't that good for myself in front of them and trying to please them as well. So I was also not only people pleasing, but people pleasing the wrong people, if that makes sense, at the same time. So it's like, yeah, I hope that makes sense and resonates. Then this is kind of like two timelines at the same time, but I wanted to talk about both of them. But the first was the first like one side is like my little bit of healing journeyness. So my friend Stana was going through like a thing, and she found herself signing up to a Reiki course, and she knew that I was interested in that and wanting to do that. So I signed up with her because she suggested we should study together again. So I did, and she's the best study buddy in the whole world. I love her. And yeah, I've always known that I am like a healer. While I do healings in Reiki at the moment, it's not my thing. It's not the thing that I do, but it's a part of where I'm going and who I'm meant to be and things like that. So I've always known that I have this healing thing. I'm also a 5/1 in human design, so I need to save the day for everyone. Hence the people pleasing and the recovering people pleaser as I currently am. So I know that Reiki came into my life for many, many reasons, and I'm going to share a couple with you now, the ones that I have currently experienced, but I know there's going to be so many more because of the magical Reiki. So Reiki saved me from the people pleasing in many ways, because I learned the techniques to channel rather than sponge everyone's stuff. So I was still helping and saving the day innately. This is the 5/1 life. When you just need to save everyone. So I was still able to do healings and look after people and the things that I just subconsciously just need to do. Weirdly, Lauren's a 5/1. Yeah, do you get this? I think Jenny's a 5/1 too. Are you, Jenny? So yeah, I learned to not sponge and channel and not have it stick to me after healing. So yeah, I could still help and heal people, and it didn't, without letting it stay in me and drain me and use up all the tea in my cup. So, oh yeah, I've already said the cup overflow thing. Then Reiki came to me again in April last year, where I made my first energy healing exchange for a payment. So Reiki came to me again a couple years after training in it to learn how to exchange my time and my energy, and to receive. It helped me receive, and learning the value of my power, because I had to believe in myself that I was worth money. my work was worth money. So by default, Reiki was a part of my finding my worthiness as well. Jenny is also a 5-1 club, all of us. She's back again. That's my dog. So what is Reiki? Now, I feel like Stacia did an amazing job at talking about what Reiki is and all the things. Hello, Nan. What Reiki is and all the things in day one. So I encourage you to go back, because I have nothing to elaborate on that. She did such a good job of that. But also, I am a person who avoids telling the facts, because I have an open throat center. So what I try to say, hence my notes, it comes out wrong when I'm on the spot. And not wrong, but what's in here doesn't come out correctly. And also, if you want the facts and the information, it's one in Stacey's video, beautifully said. And also, you can just Google it as well. So if you want the information, it's there for you. And I feel like you'll know if you want to be in my space and my energy, like Stacia as well. You'll know if you want to have a healing with Stacia, which I do, by the way, FYI. So you'll know if you want to be in my energy or not. And so, yeah. So that's my little 2 cents about what is Reiki. You can find out. So that's another lesson that Reiki gave me as well, because I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. Because when I started exchanging for money, I had lots of people asking me questions and questions and questions about what is it? What do you do? How do you do it for people overseas and all the things? And so I was kind of like comparing myself to all these leaders that I was following, where I was like, oh, I'll do a masterclass on what Reiki is, and I'll talk to my Reiki teacher and ask if I can use my notes to like say what it is and how I do it, without saying, you're not really meant to say like how, the actual how, but like a little bit of like the process a little bit. So even as I say it now, it didn't really make sense what I wanted to do. And when I talked to my Reiki teacher, she's like, what exactly do you want to do? And I was like, I don't actually know. I just saw lots of people who I was following on the internet doing these masterclasses, how to do this and what is that. And I compared myself. I was like, oh, well, if these people are doing it, I need to do it too. So Reiki also taught me, in the end, finish the story. In the end, I cancelled it, and I was like, no, stay true to myself. I don't know what I want to talk about anyway, and you can Google it. That was my way of thinking. So I did like a little bit of a live saying, sorry, I'm not doing this event because it didn't feel right for me. So it taught me how to be authentic with my business and be true to myself, and what, this is going to come back a little bit later, if I read my notes correctly, but yeah, not to follow the crowd, and just do what feels good for me, the Laz. So yeah, oops, I missed a comment. Reiki, your Reiki is so amazing and valuable. Oh, thanks, Jenny. And Cecilia says Reiki had helped me a lot before, led me to getting my Reiki certifications last year. Yeah, it's like, it's so magical. It's like, in a personal growthy way, it's been really helpful for me. So I'm glad, Cecilia. That's awesome. Stacia says thank you. I love you. And Jenny said so amazing. Oh, thank you for being nice to me, everybody. So that's my one side. So alongside my healer journey was also my Walnut one. I joined an online program in 2019. In May, I made the decision in the moment that I was going to join, and I started a payment plan for my first allot of money for a program that started in September of 2019. And it's the most I had ever spent on myself, not even my eyebrows. Which that's a whole nother story in itself, getting my eyebrows done, because it's like, that was a lot of money too. I'd never spent that much, and one thing that I learned was the transformation is in the transaction. which is a quote that I got from Viola Hug, who's my delicious sugar plum, and I love her. Yeah, so actually deciding to make that transaction and then continuing with it was a huge shift in becoming a Walnut, and I had to be so brave, and I was so scared and so scarce-sighted about joining this thing. And it was a program all about starting your own business, and I was a travel agent at the time, and I didn't have a business. So I was like with these like high level delicious bananas like this, like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Everyone was like, one girl had was launching her book. She's just published a book and was doing her book launch. Another one was like full on quit her job and started a business, and I was like, what I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here anyway. I just like knew that was what I needed to do, but I was still like awkwardly like, oh, what do I do? So anyway, within this program, we're fast forwarding to September now, there was a non-compulsory challenge to do some Facebook Lives, and I was like that. So scarce-sighted is when you're scared and excited at the same time, but the difference of one or the other is because you know that like it's a good scaring. So when you have fear and when you have excitedness or nervousness, it's the same like physical response in your body. So that's a word that I just like made up called scarce-sighted. So I was really scarce-sighted, and when she said Facebook Live, my heart went, oh, and I sunk, and I was like, oh my god, because it was like on my personal thing. So all these people I know or went to like school with 100 years ago would be watching it. So, but I knew, like, I was like, I can do this. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm paying all this money for that, I'm obviously going to squeeze it for everything it's worth and do all the things that are suggested because I'm paying all this money and the transformation is in the transaction. Jenny, I love it, and I borrow it sometimes. #scaresighted. Yeah, it's a true feeling. It's not scared, it's not excited, it's both of them at the same time, and I kind of like it a lot. So anyway, Jenny and I talked about this on our podcast, where it was this whole big pooping pants saga. This live thing, and so everyone, all of these, high level ladies, like I said, they were like, I'm gonna commit to 365 days, I'm gonna do 30 days, and I'm sitting here like actual poop going, oh, I'm just gonna do the bare minimum suggested, which is 10. So I was like, oh my god. Did the 10 days, and aside from pooping my pants, I still did it. I showed up and I did it, and I kind of deep dove. I called it scuba diving back then, into things that I felt like we don't really talk about, like anxiety, not liking myself, not wanting to say hi to people when you see them in the street, but yet we like love heart them all online and on the Instagram and stuff like that. And I discovered in these lives, so many people agreed and resonated with that kind of stuff. I had so many private messages and discussions with people, comments from people. Like, I think my first one like just popped off. There was like hundreds of comments, and I was like, shit, people feel the same as me, so why aren't we talking about it? Why aren't we discussing it? Why aren't we saying, hi, I'm having a mental health day because I have anxiety. Hi, I am not wanting to say hi to you on the street right now, but I like love heart all of your things on Facebook. Why? So with that curiosity, the idea just plonked into my head to start a podcast. What? So I did. So I was saying in my group the other day, I've done everything kind of backwards. I started a podcast without a following, without launching it, without being like, oh, secret drip feeding, look what I'm going to do. I just did it. I started a group without anyone in it. I started a page without inviting anyone. I just did everything, like, I just did it when I felt like it needed to come. Yes, and I love your podcast. I love your podcast too. So, and so in these Facebook Lives, the nut analogy was born as well. So you can still actually listen to those. Oh, I'm skipping my notes now. Oh, car park, I'll tell you that in a sec. So Walnut actually started as a word vomit. I was saying something about being courageous and being brave, and at the moment in the 10 days my confidence was the size of a peanut, but by the end I'll be the size of a walnut. And while a walnut is not a lot bigger than a peanut, a walnut is so much more than the size of it. So yeah, you can find, that's what I'm saying, being a walnut is an actual way of being now, which is so beautiful. And you can find these lives in my group still under the unit section. So if you join my group, the Walnut Tree, in the unit section, scroll all the way down, those lives are there. What was I going to say? So I've said here, it's also funny when people kind of asked me when I first started, they were like, what does walnut mean? Is it like a wallflower, but like you're a little bit crazy because you're a little bit crazy? And I was like, oh, I like that. And so all these people were coming up with these things, or like these big grand things. And I was like, I just kind of vomited it out. So it just started as a little vomit, like all things, just little butt smacks at a time that just happen, and I find my way fall into a thing. And I ask all my guests on the podcast what being a walnut means to them, and so many beautiful, they all are right. They are all right, and they all are beautiful, but the one that kind of like has stuck out, I think just because it's so simple, was one that Carrie said, who has been in, oh, Jenny, I don't remember what day Carrie was, but Carrie's been on in this retreat, and she was amazing. And her simple yet powerful of what being a walnut means to her was, being a walnut means I go first. Like, right? How good? I go first. And that like ties into the people pleasing, the recovering people pleasing, the following your sacral, if you have that, following your authority, just following yourself and what inside feels right. Here's the link to Liza's group, the Walnut Tree. Oh, thank you, Jenny. So yeah, and if you listen to my podcast, all the guests have all, at the very end, have all said what being a walnut means to them, and there are some delicious ones. So my struggles along the way were what were actually making the being a walnut and Walnut Wednesday, because I was being brave. So everything that like crossed my path was a walnutting. What is that doing? And so yeah, so these little struggles, I'm going to fold my page so that I can see where I'm going. So these struggles, or obstacles, they went right down. They weren't just like, I don't resonate with the big, I'm going to quit my job and then I'm going to be entrepreneurial and do the things. Like, and while that is great and amazing, and the people who have done it, I admire you and I love you, and you are a walnut. Also, being a walnut, I'm a baby step person. I still have a 9-to-5 job, and I still have my Walnut Wednesday business as well. So, my little walnuttings went right down to asking someone for a pen at a group retreat, because I wouldn't say I had anxiety, but I was scared to ask someone for a pen because I didn't want to be annoying, I didn't want to intrude, but then I also didn't want to, like, I know that my memory's bad, so I needed a pen to do the writing. Saying no, boundaries, every boundary I've crossed has been every boundary I've put up has been a walnutting. Saying no to going to a party that I really didn't want to go to, when past Laz has gone to multiple parties, drank way too much and totally embarrassed herself and drained her energy just because someone wanted her to go to the party. Why past Laz? Why are you doing that to yourself? And I was sharing these obstacles and struggles weekly on my podcast, and I still do today. So my struggles have been not my strengths, but my struggles have been what has created my business, because it's just my experience. My Walnut Wednesday is based on my experience and my experience alone. So I don't sit here telling you what to do. I tell you what I've done. And then if I can do it, you can do it if you feel like it. I love Carrie. Yes, I go first. Boundaries are so powerful. Yeah, I've done a lot of boundary making, and now I'm quite the hermit, but I kind of love it and I don't care anymore, whereas I used to really care. I had fears, of course. I did a lot of pant pooping. A lot of poop was around. And I had my bully demon, and I still have bully demon, which is that self voice that tells you you're a piece of shit. Sorry, swearing. That tells you you're not good enough, or why are you doing that? How embarrassing. Or the dread, as Geordie and I call it, like when you have a big night and you wake up and you go, oh. So I had bully demon, and I still do, but I've been putting the work in alongside my bully demon now, where I work with it when it comes up. So I talked about this with my friend Stana on one of my podcast episodes, actually, where my visualization of my bully demon was a little bit like the Wizard of Oz. So in following these walnuttings and these little steps of being brave, I confronted the man behind the screen, my bully demon. And yeah, behind the nasty voices and the bad talk, that's what my personal trainer calls it, or my bad self-talk, just negative self-talk. I wouldn't even say it's bad, it's just interesting what I was saying, and it was actually very nasty. So I imagine my little beaters, my little bully demon, as this little mouse. Like when I pulled the screen up, and it was like this, oh, I am a scary bully demon, evil. I pulled the screen down, and it was like this little mouse with a little spear, like just trying to protect me, like, Les, are you sure that you want to do the scary thing, because I just want to keep you safe. That's why I'm here. And I had manifested it into the big, like, scary bully demon in my mind. So yeah, that was my little change of a bully, and that didn't happen overnight. That was from putting in the work to be brave at times. Confronted the bully demon. Yeah, so rather than bully demon being something that limited me and held me back, it was something that I worked with to investigate what I could do to walnut more. If that makes any sense at all. Amy, devote time to what matters to me. I go first. Yes! Yes! Time. That's something I'm working through at the moment, actually. But, so, I love investigating why these thoughts have come up, and my investigations have come to fruition in so many ways. A big, huge one for me over the past year makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. If I ever, like, do my little rambly nervous thing and it doesn't make sense, just comment and let me know. So a big one that I've been working on over the past year was my body image, and going from not feeling good enough at all the sizes I've been under the sun to now feeling like a tasty little snack, despite being in the biggest I've ever been category. So I am now, the biggest size I've ever been. I've been all the twig sizes. I've been bigger, but I think I have surpassed my last biggest I've ever been now. Thank you, lockdown. No, not thank you, lockdown. I just enjoy life. And I didn't also want to go to the gym during the lockdown things. In New Zealand, we don't have a lockdown anymore. Look, I'm not making excuses. I am what I am, and then I'm fine with it. I am a fluctuator. So I spend like 6 months being biggest I've ever been, and then, well, I'm not putting a time on it, but I spend some time being like, I'm fine the way I am, and then other times like, ooh, let's sweat a little bit and maybe eat a couple salads every now and then. So yeah, again, with the human design, I have an open heart center, so like my consistency and willpower dwindles from time to time, so I'm fine with understanding that that's how my body works, and that's all good. So yeah, now I'm biggest I've ever been, and that's what I've been for a little bit while, and now I can feel the other part kicking in, like, ooh, Laz, maybe we should try have a salad if you feel like it. Also, I'm on my, what is it, I think maiden, so I'm like got all energized. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. But so I'm Fluctuatia, and I wanted to tell you another story about my body where I never felt good enough at any size. And it's like that meme where I wish I was as fat as the first time I thought I was fat, because I have always wanted to wear a crop top to the gym that I was going to. I saw these like girls doing it. I saw like bigger girls do it, smaller girls do it, and I just never felt good enough. I was like, oh, my phlobota's flopping around. What if I have to do like mountain climber things, and then like my belly like wobbles, as if anyone would be looking at me, my belly wobble. But I just never did. And so what I did was I questioned my bully demon, and I was like, why have I never felt good enough to do this? And I walnutted, and I went to the gym in a crop top, and I did it. And what I realized was that at every single size I never felt good enough. And why? Because what I noticed was no one noticed me wearing a crop top. No one spewed up. No one looked me up and down like I was a piece of crap. No one did anything. The only person looking at my stomach was me in the mirror, and one lady when I was walking in, but I was wearing like super peacocky leopard print, my leopard print leggings. So I think she was like looking at my leggings, and she wasn't like at my phlebota. So yeah. So why the hell, when I was twig size, did I not feel good enough? And I've said to my Instagram highlight, Tasty Snack, is all about the when I went to the gym in a crop top. There's a highlight on there which has those in there. You might just skip a few. But yeah, even in like the Macho Man weight area, no one stared at me. And did you hear my dog? Please wait for 1 second. Anna. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. I don't even know how long I've been talking for. I hope I'm done enough time. Jenny, am I okay? Yeah, everyone at the gym was just looking at themselves. And I was like, duh, if I was looking at myself, obviously everyone else was looking at yourself. So why did you not feel good enough to do it when no one's really looking anyway, and why are you worried about what other people think, and blah 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 blah. And I was saying to a friend of mine that I needed to be this size that I am, the biggest that I've ever been, to fully appreciate my body. And what started happening was I was not only self-loving, this is why I kind of have changed, I learned to like appreciate and value my body for what it was. And I've done a whole like chats about how I changed from like gyms and went to weight training and feeling strong with inside rather than aesthetically and stuff like that. So yeah, and how I kind of started that was with self-love affirmations in the morning, and Jenny and I have talked about this heaps and heaps, but I do my affirmations in the morning, and I still do them now, where I put my alarm on and I snooze for 5 minutes, but in those 5 minutes when I'm still like awake / dreamy, I just say stuff to myself. And so one that I did throughout that time a lot was, I love my body. Excuse me. I'm all thrown off because of the dog and things. So that was, I love my body, I love my body. And one tip, if you're not like if you do get the bully demon backchat, like, you don't love your body, I just kept doing it anyway in the sleepy dream time because it did work stuff into my subconscious. But you can also trick your brain and affirm, why do I love my body? Because then your brain starts to work and figure out the answer, the little investigator inside. So that's a little affirmation tip that Viola taught me, actually. Does anyone else here do affirmations? Are we affirmators? Do you do the morning, evening? So mine's in the morning in the sleepy dream time, and I actually feel like the body stuff has worked. I feel so different about my body, and when I say I love my body now, I don't get a bully demon going, bitch, no, you don't love your body, you're a fat cow. I don't get any of those anymore. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. And it's not every day that I feel like a tasty snack. I am a feeler of feelings and emotions, and being a total glutton and not being a glutton and all the things. But on the days that I do, I slay it. I own it, and I feel tasty, and I parade it around everywhere, and I go on my Instagram, and I just let it out. I let my flabota fly. I let everything. I just feel good. And if I can challenge you to do one thing, Walnut, is to, when you are feeling tasty, let the world know that you're tasty. Which is a walnutting and very scary, but you'll feel so good afterwards. And it's so interesting that when you think that your bully demon tells you that people are going to be mean to you and laugh at you, no one does. And the people that do don't say anything anyway. So, yeah. Nat does affirmations every day at random times. Yes. Stacia, I do some affirmations in the mirror. It was hard for me to do mirror work, so I kept it up. Yeah, I don't really do it anymore, but I started this thing called flap tapping, where like I would stand in the mirror before I had a shower in the nude and just like tap. It was like my own homemade version of EFT, where I just tapped all my wobbly bits that I didn't like under here, my flabota, a little bit under my butt, and just say I love you and tap it and wobble it around and just get my eyes used to my body wobbling, because everyone wobbles, even the twigs wobble. Every single person in the world wobbles. So I just kind of did that. But now when I like am naked in the mirror, now I look at myself and I give myself a little loving rub on my little flabota and say hello. So mirror work can also be really helpful too. So I also had quite the saga of bully demon by way of imposter syndrome and comparison, and particularly in the workplace. I was working in sales back then and deciding it was time to leave sales. That's a whole nother story in itself. One main thing was I was learning to slay in my lane. And I had this is another story. I had a personal best commission month. How am I doing for time? Am I okay? Oh, yeah. I had a personal best commission month, and I struggled to celebrate it because of a couple of things. One, bad math I'm not very good at math, and overestimating, which is why I didn't like overestimating in the first place, because I knew I was bad at math, but it was always a pressure to overestimate if you knew money was coming in. And then because I compared myself to what other people who had done personal bests in my kind of like area or group had done, because their personal bests were like way higher than mine. And it took me a few days to actually decide what I'd achieved was the best that I'd ever done, and that I should be proud of what I had done. It took, I think it was about 3 days where I was like, actually, so I was doing a lot of like internal, like, why don't I feel good about this? What am I doing? Working with my bully demon. So from whatever internal shift I made in that moment, very early on in my walnut journey, it brought light to, I had to remember to stay in my lane. And I decided not to just stay in it, to slay in it, slay in my lane. Do my best. Hang on, I wrote this down and I don't want to mess this up. Do my best, not better than the rest, but better than my best, Who cares about the rest? And that's all you can do at the end of the day, and that's all I did. So slay in your lane, if that's anything you remember from today as well. And this has come up a lot for me, the slaying in my lane thing. This has come up a lot for me, like with the Reiki thing and many others, where just the comparison hits. And I feel like, let me know if you have had that comparison thing too, but I feel like it's so, it's a common Walnut thing that we all have to deal with. We always are looking externally all the time, so of course, why wouldn't we compare ourselves? Even fashion. Yeah, so just remember, slay in your lane. But every time I stop to notice what's not feeling good in my body, or to me in general, where I start to feel a bit poo, I investigate and I ask myself why, because noticing is always the first. I say noticing is the best first step. Once you notice it, it cannot be unnoticed, and then you can do the work. Magic will always happen when you investigate what the things are, and sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's very sore and it sucks. FYI, disclaimer. But oh shit, it's back again. Hi Nan. But no matter what, every walnutting has always led me to my next move, and it's been quite a delicious journey. Stacia, comparison syndrome was crippling me from moving forward. Yeah. But you noticed it, right? Nanny, stop it. You noticed, and then you could do the work. And even when you're in like I'm a feeler of feelings, so when you are in like the crippling, when I've been in the crippling phase, sometimes you do need to just sit in your shit for a little while. Sometimes you need to sit in it, feel it, and then there usually for me comes a time where I'm like, okay, I could just go here, and then I go here, and then I go here, and then I go here, and then all of a sudden you're like the feeling of the shit that you were sitting in is back here and you're over there. If that makes any sense. So, every morning, has led to my next move. Sometimes they're little butt smacks, like literally what I just said. And sometimes when I ignore it long enough, like the feeling of your stomach growling. Oh my gosh, if that was on camera, I will just love this so much. I hope, if you heard my stomach growling, let me know. I'm also sorry. Sometimes when I ignore the butt smacks long enough, because they just get plonked and I get led into the things by the little warnings, but if I ignore the feeling too much, for example, the one of leaving my sales job, sometimes the universe just gets a little firework and just shoves it up your butt. Which is what I had. I had to make a move, I had to make it quick, and I quit my job. And got a new one. Oh, Carrie! So it will come. Don't worry. And where was I? So, after all this time I've been yapping at you, waffling along, what is a walnut? Quite simply, a walnut is a person who decides, that's me going around the decides to be brave. And it's you. It's you because you're here. It's you because you're here potentially because you're looking into yourself a little bit more. Maybe you notice something about yourself. Maybe you feel a feeling. It's you for connecting in here. It's you for commenting. It's you for sharing. Burn to win for the prizes, by the way. It's you. You are a walnut because you are brave. You are courageous. You are confident. You are beautiful. You are. And your bully demon might be going, no, I'm not, Liz. Stop lying to me. But you notice your bully demon say that, right? So that's a walnutting. You are a walnut. My delicious little banana. You're a delicious little banana. So, share. Okay, yeah, so you can find me. I'm going to wrap up in 1 second. Not 1 second. It's going to be longer. Sorry, I'm waffling. You can find me inside my Facebook group, The Walnut Tree. Walnut Wednesday on Instagram. There's a Walnut Wednesday business page too, but I don't really use it a lot. And you can listen to my podcast, which is just Walnut Wednesday on all your favorite poddy things on Spotify, iTunes, all the ones. And I am giving away a Reiki session. I think I said to Jenny 2 Reiki sessions. Jenny, did I say 2? I'll just give away 2. So 2 Reiki sessions if you win. I was gonna say if you want, if you win, you get it. But we can talk or whatever. So that's what I'm giving away: a delicious distance Reiki healing. And if you want to know what people have said, I think I've got a testimonial highlight on my page, or just jump into my group and there's all things in there about Reiki and stuff. If you're wondering what the hell Reiki is, again, go watch Stacia's chat, because she just beautifully talked about Reiki in a way that just made me feel so cuddly and warm. She just explained it with the correct words in the most yummy, delish way. But takeaways from this, in summary, God, in summary of all of this waffling, I didn't think I would make the time, but I am quite good at the waffling. Jenny, yeah, you were so amazing. Yes, they are so good. Thank you so much. The takeaways you can have from this video can be, if you want them to be, Bully Demon is actually a mouse. Wizard of Oz thing. Slay in your lane. Slay in your lane. Don't stay in your lane. Slay in your lane. Your best. Don't worry about the rest. I forgot that. Okay, I'll try and find that thing what I said, because I thought that was really good. Do my best, not better than the rest, but better than my best. Who cares about the rest? Slay in your lane. And the final thing that you can take away is you are brave, and you are a walnut. Oh, I don't know what all these noises are. So, final thing before I go, slay in your lane, fire! Little hands that go like this, yay! Jenny, I have had several Reiki with Lara, and they are so amazing, like a warm hug, and her emails are so spot on. Thanks, Jenny. Thank you. Yeah, they really are. But you'll know if you want to have a healing with me. You'll know straight away. And if it doesn't feel good, that's cool. We can still be friends if you want to be friends. I love you. Yes. Okay. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is, so Bully Demon is a mouse. Slay in your lane. You are brave. You're a walnut. And for finals, remember that life is just a series of moments, and you decide if you want to be a walnut for the next one. Life is a series of moments, and you decide if you want to be a walnut for your next moment. So, I hope that makes sense. I look forward to talking to you. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and any questions, let me know. And again, if you're on the replay, just hashtag Walnut Wednesday so I can come and say hi to you later as well. If you were here live, I love you! If you're on the replay, I still love you too. But thank you guys so much for your time and for having me. And Jenny, thank you for this amazing opportunity and for letting me come visit in your group. I have actually had a really good time. There was no poop. It was only the first little poopy pants, and now it's done. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. You are beautiful, you're sexy, you're delicious, and you are a walnut. Bye.